Ladies and gentlemen, the show we've all been waiting for, Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present REP Paranormal and Friends with your hosts, Kim Purvis and Allison Robinson. Live every Thursday night on Spreaker, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Be sure to check out their Facebook page, REP Paranormal Busters.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, welcome to another night of REP Paranormal and Friends. We have a special guest tonight. We have Nick Daly from Beyond Paranormal, so welcome.
Hey, what's up everybody?
Not
pleasure. Thank you for having me here, guys. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely, anytime. Anytime. So let's get started here. Why don't you give us a little bit of background on yourself? How did you get into the paranormal?
How did I get into the paranormal? Easy. As a child, I'm sure a lot of people were affected, like me, as children. Mm-hmm. And this one house that I lived in, I grew up in this one house in Magnolia, Texas, and this house was basically pieced together. A little bit of history on this house. This house was basically pieced together, and I don't know if you're familiar with your history, but in the 1900 or 1902, mm-hmm. there was the greatest national U.S. disaster happened in like 1902. It was a hurricane that hit Galveston, mm-hmm. And it completely just sunk Galveston, Houston. Everything was underwater. Well, a lot of the houses obviously were tore down from that. Well, this house that I lived in was apparently pieced together with houses from Galveston. If you know Galveston, Texas, it's extremely old. And this house, I'm telling you, had an energy on it. I mean, being a kid, you walk into this house, the first thing we noticed was these solid oak doors. Some oak doors unlike you've ever seen, like some castle style doors. They were just tall. Mm-hmm. They were just really thick. They had no doorknobs on this because there wasn't any modern doorknobs that would fit on this door. So we move into this house, and it's like a 2-story old Victorian. It's like, you can tell, it's just, you look at it, me looking at a house like that now, I would be like, oh my God, let's go check this place out. But as a kid, it's like, whoa, this is strange. This is something ain't right about this house. So we moved into this home, and within the first week, it was absolutely insane. Like, I was laying up in my bed, and my bed was at the top of the stairs. Uh-huh. And in the attic, you could literally hear bowling balls going down like a bowling alley. You could hear pins crashing. Oh my God. You could smell cigar smoke. And mind you, I'm a child. I'm, right. 11 years old, 10 years old, and all this is happening. It's like, man, this is really strange. Like, I'm smelling all this. Like, it's just really just strange. And I'm telling, everybody, and they're not believing me. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. It's just an old house. Well, a week later after that, I'm laying in bed, and, mm-hmm. I'm rolled over, the blankets over on top of me, and I get drugged out of bed. Whoa. I get drugged down the stairs around the entryway into the kitchen, and I'm, at the time, me and my brother were at the time, like we, of course, investigated the house, walked around the house, found all the hiding spots, all the scary spots. And it just so happens I was being drugged in this blanket to the back furnace room, which was like just this one entryway past the hallway. And I thought it was my brother dragging me in this blanket, and I'm being drugged, and I'm kicking it. I'm like, Chris, stop it. And I'm kicking the blanket, and I'm kicking it. And it gets into the kitchen, and then like the blanket just lets go. And I'm sitting there, and of course, you would think you would see somebody in front of you, with the furnace room being right there, but or you'd hear footsteps, and I'm telling you, there was quiet. I jumped up, I ran back upstairs to my brother's room. He's asleep in his bed. My sister's asleep in her bed. My cousin's asleep in his bed, and my mom's asleep in her bed.
Oh my gosh!
Unbelievable. It was, nobody believed me, of course, up until my sister started seeing stuff at this house. And she's 5 years younger than me, and she claimed that she had this little ghost girl that was her friend, and we had a garden at this house, and we would see my sister out in this garden, and she would act, you look like she was playing with somebody. You would have swore she was someone that's sitting right there next to her, playing in the vegetables with her, playing in the buckets or whatever they were doing. But that house, absolutely, that home is what got me fascinated, because it was just like from then on out, something followed me into another house. But it was just that moment, that home is what basically started just my love for the paranormal, I guess. Like just my infatuation with it, I would say. It was at home.
Oh, wow. That's insane.
I thought I was. I literally thought I was, because nobody was like, no, it wasn't me, I swear. And I'm like, Chris, it was you. I know it was you, Brian. I know it was you. Like it just, I'm trying to convince myself that it wasn't that until. And another crazy story about that. My brother actually locked me into a room in there, and I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
That's when I felt what energy was. I mean, man, I'm telling you this, and it's crazy. This house still stands today. It is still standing today. Absolutely. And I've honestly wanted to go over to the home and just knock on the door, and there's actually people who live there. I don't want to go knock on the door and just, without being like a creep, like, hey, I used to live here. There used to be ghosts here, without sounding creepy. So instead, I actually mailed them a letter about 2 years ago, and I have yet to hear back from them. So, maybe one of these days I can do a video on, maybe showing the house of this place. But man, I'm telling you, this place was unreal. Oh
my gosh. I mean, I had paranormal experiences when I was younger in my house, but nothing to that extreme.
Oh
like,
man,
doors would open and things would move.
Oh yeah, see that.
I'd have shadow figures and stuff at my bed, but
see, there's too many of those to go on in this. Like, I'm telling you, once I started seeing it, then my sister started seeing stuff. We would literally this one, the spirit was just like, okay, I'm gonna let the whole family know we're here. We would literally be sitting in the living room, and the door would open on its own. And then close. The fireplace would be burning. Listen, a fireplace would be burning with no firewood and no propane. If I'm lying, I'm dying. This house was unbelievably unreal. Unbelievably unreal.
That's nuts. Oh
my gosh. I'm serious. I'm dead. I would love to go back to that house. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, no kidding. That would be awesome. Excuse me. All right, so another thing is, how long have you been investigating for, and how long have you been a team, and how many people are in your team? I'm just gonna load it all on you here.
Gotcha. No problem. So I started my solo investigating, or like my curiosity of like actually getting a recorder, and this is back in the days. You guys probably remember the tape recorder, the small mini cassette recorders. I had 2 of those, and I also had. I don't know if you remember those, the actual the cassette tape players that you could put the tape in. It looked like the video rewind tape thing. It's just like that big old box.
Yep.
I had one of those. I had a computer with a microphone.
Oh my gosh.
And this was probably, when I started doing this, was probably in the late 90s. Mid to late 90s. I was kind of doing it on my own. I really didn't tell anybody that I was doing it, because I was like, people think I'm a freaking weirdo. But like I said, from that house, every place that I moved to, there was some kind of activity. Granted, it wasn't as extreme as that one place, but it just seemed like this activity just followed, like some sort of activity followed along. So, over the time, I was curious about it. Like, okay, I'm going to get this cassette recorder because I got to be able to listen to something talking to me. And, I read a lot of Ed and Lorraine books. I don't know if you read some of their books, but they have some amazing books. I would literally go with these little cassette tapes, and I would start them in my room, and then sometimes I would go over to like a friend's house or something. This was like I said, it started in the mid '90s. When I actually started, we formed Beyond Paranormal. That was about 2008, and I formed it with two of my friends, Kyle Asher and Joey Bullock. They were the other two original members of Beyond Paranormal. Joey, who still investigates with us today. Kyle, he moved to Colorado, so he's currently unavailable. But we started Beyond Paranormal in 2008 over because they wanted. I found out through a mutual friend. Hey, you like paranormal investigating? Hey, I like paranormal investigating too. I do this. I do residential cases. Oh, let's do this as a learning kind of experience. And then just the one night of inspecting or investigating together, it was so great that like the evidence we captured in this one house that we went to, and it was this one home. I don't want to give away the name of it because it just can't really discuss it, but this home there was a lot of stuff going on in this home, and it was a learning lesson, big learning lesson for all of us. But from then 2008 to about 2012, it was us three, and then Joey had moved away, and then I basically took over solo Beyond Paranormal up until about last year. Like I said, Joey was with us. He's with us still, but he was kind of like part-time because, people have lives. I'm not going to make anybody do anything. People got their thing to do. By all means, go do it. I'm still going to be here. But from about 2012 to about, like I said, up until like last year, I was doing investigating solo. I'd go into places solo. A lot of people are like, you shouldn't go do that. You shouldn't be going by yourself. But it's different. Like I said, over the as many of the cases I've done, mostly residential cases I've mentioned before, you learn a lot. A lot of it's about interpretation. I'm sure you know that. And about the mindset. And then, so to speed up to this point in time, last year, I obtained an amazing investigator. Her name's Sarah Ferguson. Amazing investigator. She's investigated with one of probably the most popular paranormal team in Houston, the West Houston Paranormal Society, or the WIPS team. I've been working with them a lot, and that's where I met Sarah. And so Sarah kind of was a little bit closer to me, so it was like, hey, you're more than welcome to come investigate with me. And she was like, dude, that'd be great. So Sarah jumped aboard, and I love Sarah to death. You'll see her. You've probably seen her in some of the videos that we have on YouTube. I actually have some. If you go to our YouTube channel, I have probably 70 videos on there. You'll see Joey in some of the earlier videos. You'll see Kyle in some of the earlier videos, and some of these newer videos. You'll see Sarah in the videos. But now, as far as like this current day, I have, let's say I have Sarah, I have Raven, who is kind of would say green, but she's kind of new to the investigating world, and it's good to have that perspective. Right. I like having a very diverse team. You like to have your experience. You like to have your skeptic. You like to have your greenhorn. You like to have this wide variety of range of different things. You like to have your sensitive. You like to have your empath. It's good to have these different forms of diversity. It just makes for a way better team. And like I said, I was investigating probably since 2012 up until 2018 by myself. So 6 years or so by myself. Now learning to go with a team. I'm still learning, and Sarah will agree to this. I'm still learning as far as like leading a team. But I'm telling you, we have a great team. I'm big on para-unity, so like I work a lot with local teams. I try to for the most part. So, but no, just if ever, I would say to answer the question about total years of paranormal, experience, I'll say. I'm no professional, but I'm definitely experienced. I would say a good 20 plus years experience is
shit.
probably a good 10 to 12 years with the team. So it's pretty great. Like it's great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was gonna say that's a lot. Excuse me. All right. So I was looking through some of your YouTube videos, but I know you do like a lot of residential areas. Do you do any others? Do you book any places, like any well-known?
I do. Actually, I do. And I don't want to give any spoilers because I actually have some big news coming up pretty soon. I want to give it, so maybe I'll give some spoilers. It's it's going to come in June, mid-June. I have something big coming up. And like I said, I usually don't really do these kind of stuff and these like historical places and stuff. I definitely love visiting cemeteries. Mm-hmm. I'll definitely go and visit a cemetery just because I just love the beauty of a cemetery. They're very beautiful. Mm-hmm. Residential cases pretty much occupy most of the time for me. But when I do get to go to some of these places, I do like to go, but they're few and far between. I haven't really been to any big ones, probably anytime recent, never been. But like I said, this one coming in June, it's pretty big to me because I've been to this place before, and it's actually an active place. So yeah, it's looking forward to that.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's see. We do have a question here from Shay. She wants to know, what is your funny moment during an investigation?
Yeah, I think every team has bloopers, and I think every team does. I'm fortunate to record all of mine because I'm behind the camera. Yeah. But we've had so many bloopers. Mainly, it's usually me. Just I tend to what's the word? Talk a lot. And I'll just sit there, I've told it this way: when I'm sitting there in a room with people, like I said, I'm used to investigating by myself, so I'll whisper to myself to edit the videos, and sometimes you'll hear me whispering some kind of silly things because I'm like, like what the hell am I thinking? Like, and it's just the funny little things that I say in my videos that really nobody else gets to see but me, and they're like, hey, quit whispering over here, quit whispering. And I'm like, oh shoot, it's for my video, it's for the video later.
Oh, that's funny. I've never thought of that, I guess.
I'm telling you, the noises in the background you hear were like in the early days, we were always messing with Kyle. Like, take, for example, me, when Joey and I and Kyle were together running, when we were investigating together, it was always taking a jab at Kyle or always taking a jab at Joey. It was like kind of back and forth. It was just like, Kyle, did you hear that? And he's like, no. And then like someone he would poke Kyle in the back, and then like we'd take off running just to kind of mess with him, Oh, but yeah, we don't really do that too much anymore. I really don't get a chance. Like I said, being in residential cases, man, I try to take them as serious as I possibly can. Yeah. But no, we do have some bloopers. Absolutely have some bloopers, and I would love to make a blooper video of all like a combined blooper. It's funny you say. I was talking to Sarah about that the last time I met with her, and we were discussing a blooper video because I think that would be hilarious. That's something you don't really see in like paranormal video. Paranormal bloopers, I think that would be hilarious.
That it would actually be pretty funny to see some of those things. I'm sure Kim catches some of that stuff. Well, she's always trying to scare the shit out of everybody. She finally got me once at Granger House. I was actually doing a live feed, and I was walking up the stairs, and I'm like, I heard something up in the carriage house, like up in the, what do you want to call it? Loft. The loft area. So I'm walking up these wooden stairs, and it's kind of dark, and I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh, I think it's just paint on there. Next thing you know, she grabs my leg and shakes the stairs, and I'm like, what the hell? And that's the only time she's ever scared me, but she's always doing that. She likes to hide in the dark, and she's so little. Oh my goodness. She's so little that she scares people all the time.
You gotta get the adrenaline up.
Oh man.
Especially if there's nothing going on right away, you got to get the adrenaline up a little bit.
Yeah, get it stirred up.
Okay, so back to your residential ones. There was I watched the spring case.
Oh, okay.
And you had a lot of intelligent responses.
Oh man, that case right there, that was a very special case, very special to me because, like I said, these residential cases, man, they're completely different from going to let's say a haunted jail or a prison or an asylum. It's these residential cases, they mean so much more. And that case in particular, there was just a lot of history to that case. There was just a very traumatic history to that case. And I grew a bond with the family. And just that bond, growing up, I'm sure you've done with residential cases. It's a bond you get with a family that's unbelievable. And I think that energy, that bond, makes for an amazing investigation sometimes, especially, if you're connected with the family. And like I always say this, spirits, if they want to talk to you, they will talk to you. It is on their terms. It is not on our terms. People just need to understand that. Now, you, like I say, you put yourself in a situation like that spring case where you have good rapport with the family. And, me and that family were just, I said, I have a special bond with that family. I love that family. And I would take a bullet for that family. And they know that. And that sounds kind of crazy that, I've only known them a few months, or maybe a month before that video. I knew them. And that energy, that rapport with that family is what made for an amazing response, amazing responses from what we captured.
Now, for anybody who is wanting to do residential cases but haven't ventured out into that, what advice would you give to them?
Be careful, because I would say you're no psychologist. Don't try to be a psychologist. Try to interpret what it is how to. I mean, if you're experienced, you know what you're going into. Okay, just try to use that experience and not you're not going in there to be a psychiatrist to these people to tell them, okay, well, you're doing this or you're doing this. That's not your job. Your job is to find out what's going on in here. Listen to what they have to say. Find evidence that's backing what they're claiming. And what I would suggest is don't go in with your heart on your sleeve. Just go in there wanting to get a job done. Be safe. Always discuss everything with the family first. I mean, don't ever keep anything from the family. Always be open with the family and be honest with them. You're not trying to be a TV show with them. You're just trying to help them. And I think that's a lot of the problem is. Me, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I do not watch the television shows. I don't watch Ghost Adventure. I don't watch any of those television shows. I just, that's not the kind of thing that I want to give off to people. Mine is genuine. Mine is genuine. I don't go looking for residential cases. They come looking for me. Right. And like I said, if you're trying to get into residential cases, don't do it for the wrong reasons. Do it because you're doing it to help somebody out. And that is what it's all about with the residential. It's all about helping people misinterpreting things, because a lot of those times the families, they're going to be like, oh, there's a shadow in here. I heard something move in the kitchen. It's going to get me. I've seen it on the TV shows. It's demon. It's demon this. And that drives me nuts. That absolutely drives me nuts, because it's just, and like I said, go in with an open mind, go in with a skeptical mind, but go in there with an open mind, and don't go in for the wrong reasons. Go in because, you're trying to help. That's, that would be the advice I would say. Just go in with a good mind and a good heart, and you're going to get some amazing results.
Yep, exactly. Now, on the other side of that, have you ever had somebody who got a hold of you and wanted you to come to their house, but then they kind of just faked things? Have you had that?
No, they didn't really fake it. I've been to a bunch of houses where they think something's going on, but like they said, they didn't want to jump to conclusions. They just thought they saw different. I'm not going to say a name, but I did this one case, and their daughter was actually having vivid dreams. Was sitting in certain spots in the home, is what they were claiming. There was just something weird, is what they said. It was something strange was going on. They were getting bruises while they were sleeping. And I'm like, okay, let's go check this out. Because like my first intention, I'm not going to come in there and say you're a liar. I'm going to come in and listen to what you're. And like I said, it goes back to psychology and stuff. Because you don't want to sit there and say, yeah, something's going to sit there and is beating you in your sleep, or you might be doing like it's so many factors that play into that. And so I went to this house, and like I said, all in your intuition. It all depends on the investigator, I would say. If you're pretty sensitive, if you're not sensitive, if you're intuitive, if you're not intuitive, if you know what you're going into concerning spirits, you know what to feel. You'll know if something's bad there, you'll feel it. If there's something, you'll just know. I don't know how else to explain it, So I went to this home, and there wasn't anything bad there. And so I'll get to this in a second, but so I walked around the home, and like I go off this like kind of feel the place out. I kind of go check the place out, kind of feel it. I don't really talk about it much, but I kind of like a sensitive, but I see light anomalies around people. When I go around certain people have light energy or energy anomalies or light anomalies around them. I'm able to see them sometimes. And sometimes they'll interpret themselves to me. It'll be something like of a spirit moving through the room or something, or if they're around a certain somebody, So I'm walking through this home, and I'm not really feeling anything bad up until I get to this one room that she didn't really tell me much about. But like I said, she was implying that everything was so bad. Everything was just bad. Everything was just, there was getting, it felt bad. It was just like a bad feeling. It's just, so going there and actually feeling that it wasn't all that, I would say, I wouldn't, like I said, nobody's ever faked anything. I guess you asked me if anybody's ever faked anything. Nobody's ever faked anything, but this is like the closest thing to like anything like that. Like if you hearing claims of being bruised, you hearing claims of like your daughter going into a closet and like with the lights off and just, writing certain things, you automatically going to think bad stuff. But upon visiting this home, there was nothing bad about this place. It ended up being an old family member that was residing there with them, that was keeping an eye on the family. And there was no even need for an investigation. Like I didn't even call an investigation on this because it was just, there wasn't enough substantial stuff there to do an investigation other than what I felt walking through the home. But I would not say nobody's ever faked anything. No, because I don't think I would. I think I would know. I would hope I'd be able to sniff out a phony. Yeah. I would hope so, but who knows?
She has a question. She wants to know if you believe in demons.
Do I believe in demons? I'm probably going to get a lot of people mad at me. No, I do not believe in demons. The reason being is I've came in contact with some pretty bad stuff, things with red eyes. I've been followed by things with red eyes. For one time, it was I got followed for 6 years by this one individual. But like I said, I was very, I wouldn't say like experienced at the time, so I didn't know what I was dealing with until I started training my brain, which I hope everybody like at least meditates and like, listens to some sound. I mean, like I trained my brain basically since then. But I don't believe in demons, no, but I do believe there are dark energy. I separate them into two classes. I have classes, one class of the light energy, and I have another class called not of the light energy. The ones of the light energy are like the ones that are around you all the time. The spirits that are around everybody all the time that they don't know they're there. Those spirits. Not of the light spirits, your shadow men, your things like that. Those are the ones that need to feed off of you. They need that energy off of you. That's the not of the light spirits. And I've come in contact with plenty of those. And like I said, this is all my interpretation. This is all my opinion, but I've done this long enough, I hope to, but I've never came across the demon. But like I said, I really don't believe in them. I don't seriously believe in demons.
Yeah, I mean, We haven't come across anything yet. I mean, you get those pissy old,
Yeah. Oh,
but,
yeah. You get those vengeful. You get vengeful energy. Like I said, it's just very dark energy. It's all energy, and they'll sit there and tell you that. They'll sit there and tell you they're Satan. I'm Satan. I'm sure you've heard that come through a spirit.
Oh yeah,
we've
Satan. Had that a lot.
I'm the devil. I'm the devil. Oh yeah, you think you are a tough guy. You sure are a tough guy. Let me bust out this Palo Santo real quick. So no, I don't believe they're like deep. I don't believe in them. I just don't believe them. I don't know what else to say.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so when you do these residentials, do you get any background from the homeowners? Do you do any digging, like history on the place? Or
absolutely. And that's part of the whole initial walkthrough. Like, absolutely. And what I do doing these is I do an initial walkthrough. Mm-hmm. I'll do my own research. I'm pretty fairly competent when it comes to doing my own research. Been doing it for so long that I do all the videoing, I do all the editing, I do all the research. So basically, I've just been doing everything. So I research the home, whatever, like depending on which area it is. Like for example, the Heights house. I did my research because this house came from the Heights. So to know about the Heights, I got to go back in time. And I got to research and see what's going on and find out what happened in the Heights. What kind of social energy or what kind of energy was going on in this time in the Heights. And believe it or not, there was a lot of ups and downs in the Heights, Texas, back in the day in the 40s and stuff. And that house, the original owners, I guess, passed, who were still living in that home, were just very adamant about not leaving. And, as far as doing the research, I do my own research, and then when I go through the initial walkthrough, the client usually has the information on the house for me. Like this has been here since this long, and then I got it from here, and usually they'll tell me like most of the information. They'll usually have it, but I got to do my own research for sure, especially if it's like next to like a cemetery. There was this one case that I had that was down the street from a cemetery. So, I was to try to see if the area was connected with any activity in the surrounding area. It pays to do your research. And I always say that do your research before and after any location, anytime you go into a location. Absolutely.
All right, let's see. Shay had another.
Sorry, I ramble here.
Nope, you're perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
Blah, 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 blah.
Shay said she's playing the role of Darren tonight, so she's got some questions tonight. So.
All right, shoot, let's do.
Let's see here. Do you think emotional clutter and physical clutter in a home can feed activity?
Absolutely, because the energy resides no matter. But I mean, if you're in a negative household and there's arguing all the time, there's going to be negative residual energy there. Absolutely.
And when you do these residentials, I know you do some cleansing and things. I know a lot of people used to use sage, but now I do see them using the Palo Santo. So what's the difference?
From what I've heard and in my own interpretation, the Palo Santo basically eliminates negative energy. That's why I use it. It smells so much better than sage, I feel. But as far as what I've done my own research, I feel that Palo Santo and I feel that it removes every negative energy out of the home. I feel that the white sage or the sage, I feel that it removes all the spirit energy out of the home. But, if that was the case, people would sage their homes all the time, you would think it would, happen. You think there would be no spiritual energy around, but sometimes it comes right back. So who's to say it does or who's to say it doesn't? But my preference, I absolutely prefer the Palo Santo. It's absolutely better. I don't know. A lot of people, they got stores around, but there's this one amazing store that's up in Old Town Spring near me, Malice, where I get mine from. So I absolutely keep it on deck. At least 9 sticks of Palo Santo, and even keep some frankincense and myrrh and a whole bunch of other stuff. I actually recommend it. Absolutely, keeping yourself protected whenever you do these residential goes back to what you said about any, what advice I would give. Just keep yourself protected. Always. Always protect
Kim's
yourself.
pointing at me.
Yeah.
I think
Keep yourself protected.
The last 2 investigations I've been on, last weekend I had Palo Santo and cleansing spray on me, and then the time before they used sage.
Oh yeah, just you got to keep. Yeah, I mean, I don't know as far as if you keep stones on you. I keep celestite. I keep black tourmaline. I'll keep the rose quartz, the amethyst. I keep that all in my pocket everywhere I go. I keep it in my wallet. Like I'm a walking good vibe.
They're not on me. I always forget to put them on me while I'm. I know. I need to bad. They're like, keep them on you.
Yes, absolutely. Be a walking good vibe.
That's something that, I've been interested in learning how to do like the cleansing and things, and I think it would probably be a good idea for somebody on our team to be able to do that. Considering
considering you need to cleanse yourself. What I do, I cleanse myself and I say my prayer before and after. I go into every investigation. Absolutely. You cleanse yourself before, you cleanse yourself because you don't want any kind of residual attachment coming home with you. And I've seen it happen. I told you before I was mentally prepared, I had this dark negative energy with red eyes follow me for 6 years. And it tormented my dreams, tormented your sleep. It made you, it gave you bad thoughts. Just it was horrible, absolutely horrible, which is why it is imperative to keep yourself protected always.
I know. Kim's still shaking her head.
She's shaking her head and pointing at you, huh?
Well, usually, I do wear my necklace and stuff. It's been blessed and everything. And I have my stones and things, but sometimes I just forget to put them in my pocket when I get out there because I'm just like, okay, let's go. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. And the last 2 times, it's just been intense for me. I don't know why, but it just.
Do you keep a shrine, a little rock shrine at home? Like a lot of one of my investigators, Raven, she has a very enormous shrine of different rocks. Like where I keep mine is where I don't forget them is right here on the corner of my bar. So that way, when I do go on an investigation, they're right here. I put them right in my pocket and I go right out the door. Yep. Oh, it's amazing.
Mine are in my they're in my purse. Like I said, they're in my purse. I just forget to grab them out of my purse while I'm walking around.
You got to put them in your
on me. And then I have a bag of different ones sitting on my nightstand, and I have others too because when I was younger, I was really drawn to them, so I collected them every time my family and I would go on vacation. I would just collect these different stones. So I have
my sister did this. Hey, my sister did this. Still does to this day the same thing.
Yeah.
She go out of state, collect a stone from every state, or go. They speak to you. The stones speak to you. I've learned from a Reiki master. I learned that the stones speak to you.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Oh, absolutely. And I have some, and what's crazy is that people think I'm crazy, but I actually keep a haunted rock here at my home. I have a haunted rock, and there's a spirit who lives in my home named Anthony, and I met him at one of my cases. It was probably one of the biggest cases I've ever done because this case in particular, I investigated this home over 250 times.
Holy cow.
This home was a residential case that strayed to another home that followed this family, and I got the whole YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. It's in one of the older videos, but it's a Mary's location. But this location right here, I keep a rock, and it's because I kind of did like a little, I wouldn't say a reunion, but I went back to this location because they tore the house down since. This is just the property there now. The property is still sitting there, but something told me to go to this property. So I went over to this property, and I'm on my phone, mind you, and I have the video on my phone of this very day. And I'm getting in the car and I'm driving and I'm just like, okay, I got to go to this house. And I'm telling you, these rocks speak to you. As I'm going to this house, or I'm going to the Mary's location, I'm driving down the road, I get out of the car and I walk over to the middle of the property where the house was. And I look down and there's a rock, and I'm telling you, it says pick me up. And I picked this rock up. And I still have it to this day. It has a face in it. It has a face in this rock, a little smiley face in this rock. And it's Anthony. He came to me whenever I brought him home, and he told me his name was Anthony. I saw him, he's a tall, skinny guy with long hair. It's unbelievable what spirits, if they want to talk to you, what they will show you. Especially if you're a sensitive or something, or if you're an empath, it's incredible. what you can experience. And I keep Anthony comes with two. And since then, this is 6 years, I keep Anthony with me. He goes to every investigation that I go to. And if there's a problem, like a bad spirit energy there, he helps. I feel, and people, again, may call me crazy, but I feel he helps diffuse the situation. I really do. He's like a spirit guardian angel in a weird way. But I keep that rock at my house, too, so...
Oh my gosh!
I tell you what, I'm gonna post a picture on my Instagram of Anthony Rock. I'll post it right now.
Okay, you post it right now. I'll be watching.
I'm gonna post a picture of Anthony right now, and I'll show y'all.
Okay.
And Anthony's something else. I'm telling you. And what's just crazy is because I worked with an ex coworker of mine who was a Reiki master. She picked up on energy. You can pick up on energy. I'm sure you do when you go around other people that have certain abilities. I'm gonna give a shout out to Hazel Evans with West Houston Paranormal Society. She's the same way because she gets headaches when I come around her, and I just kind of get really weird wrists when I get around her. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you just kind of know. So I brought this rock. I bring this haunted rock to work, right? And that's because I'm the only one there that basically knows about this haunted rock, right? So I bring it there and I hide it in the break room. My coworker, who's this Reiki master, same kind of sensitive like me, immediately I leave the room. Nobody was even there. Like I was the first person there. I go in, I hide the rock. I go back out to my inspection table. Everybody comes into work. She comes in, clocks in. And like not 5 minutes after clocking in, she's walking out to my inspection table with Anthony in her hand, with my rock in her hand. She goes, "What the hell is this?" I said, "That's Anthony." She goes, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I was drawn to this rock." I said, "You know where I put it?" She goes, "It was behind the microwave. I hid it behind the microwave." Like, who is going to go inside the break room and deliberately look behind the microwave? Yeah, exactly. When I'm the only one there. That's when I was like, okay, I know I got something special. I just had to find out for myself. And what was really crazy is Anthony, the first few nights that I kept him at home, I would have night terrors, like 3 o'clock, waking up sweating, horrible. I would absolutely be feeling horrible. And then just over time, it just kind of, I don't know, I just outgrew it, I guess. But now Anthony, he comes, give me 1 second. I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time, and it is damn near impossible. 1 second. I'm going to try one with a flash. Let's see what it looks like. Boom. There you go. And we'll go next. Here we go. Forgive me, guys. I'm sorry.
No,
I got a slow phone service. I hope everybody has their hashtag hot or cold beverage with them.
I do. Actually, mine's gone.
Mine. I know. I'm ready for another one, actually.
I only brought one with me. I have to see patients tomorrow, so
Oh, I gotcha. Oh, no, go back. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I can do all this, but I can't say boom. Shared. Here we go.
Boom.
I put it on the face side, so that way you can see the face side. Well, kinda.
Oh, that's too funny. Look,
that's Anthony.
That's good.
That is Anthony. Let me see if I can get it. I already added the picture, but yeah, that's Anthony right there. I try to get a good punch. That's the face right there, though. That's it, and it's really strange. That's always been his face to me, but he looks out for me. I love Anthony to death. Shout out Anthony wherever you are in here. I haven't felt you all day, but probably because the whole building's catching on fire.
Yeah,
crazy,
no kidding. Oh
crazy day. But I'm here, man. I couldn't miss this for the world, man. This is great.
Well, good. I'm glad you're having fun. Welcome to our
big shout out to all the people listening, all the people in chat that I'm normally in chat with. Big shout out to you guys.
I know. It's kind of weird not having Darren in there tonight, but
Oh, man. I'll let him have it next Thursday.
That's right.
Maybe we need to interview Darren.
Roast us all you want, because it's just going to be Kim and I. So whatever goes.
Let's interview Darren. And we'll bomb him with questions.
We'll turn the questions on him.
Yeah. So, Darren, what do you like on your French fries? Ketchup? Do you drink chocolate milk or do you drink almond milk, sir? Oh goodness! I'm telling you, we should do it. We should do it, man. Ask everybody in the chat. I think we should do it. What do you guys think? Right? Okay. We should bombard Darren with questions.
Let's do that next Thursday. Then.
Let's do that. Oh man,
let's do random questions.
Random. That sounds awesome. Oh man, that sounds great.
I mean, we've had shows like that before. Like I think when we talked to the Southern Gypsies, somehow we talked about cornfields and picks and everything else.
That's awesome.
We get off topic sometimes, and it's okay to have.
It happens, man. You just go with the flow. Just go with it.
That's right. Exactly. You gotta have fun sometimes.
That's it, man. That's it. In this day and age, we need all the laughter and love we can get, man. Spread the happiness.
Exactly.
Right? Positive vibes, man. Positive vibes. That's just try to live a positive outlook on everything, man. That's what I try to do.
That is exactly right. Okay. Let's see here. I think Shay has some more questions here.
Those were all hers right there.
Man, she's on a roll tonight.
All right.
Let's see. I think I forgot to ask you this one. I can't even remember. My brain is fried. Going back to work is difficult. After being off for 2 months, I was just like, do I really know what I'm doing?
Oh, man, not me. I've been steadily at it, and I'm finally going to have my vacation. I got one more day of work, and then my vacation starts, I say Tuesday. After Memorial Day, my vacation starts, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
Nice. All right, let's see here. What has been your scariest moment?
Ooh, that's a good one. This is really crazy. It's hard for me to get really spooked when I go investigating. Like, I don't really get startled very much because, like, I've had some crazy things happen to me. I would say the craziest thing that happened to me during an investigation would probably be that I was probably be the time that I was at this Mary's location and I literally was pulled through a wall by the back collar of my shirt.
Oh my gosh.
And not I'll say through a wall, but not literally through sheetrock. But like in this home, there was a wall. Like I guess they had framed a wall, but you could walk through the beams. You could just walk through the beams to kind of cut through the house. And I'm walking through this one from this one room, Mary's room, through the other side, and I'm telling you, it's something grabbed the back of my collar and yanked me back through the room door, and I slipped and came rolling back halfway. I was halfway in the middle of the room when I fell. I would say that I wouldn't say scared me, but it was one of the few times that I've been startled for sure. Because like I said, I've had things thrown at me. I've had sheetrock thrown at me. I've had rocks thrown at me. I've been scratched numerous times. I've had vehicle trouble. I don't know if anybody's ever done that in a paranormal investigation, but I've literally went to this. I'm telling you, I went to this one house, and it happens. And me and Kyle, back in the early days, it was just Kyle and I. Joey wasn't available at the time. Kyle and I went to this one house, and it was abandoned. I did like going to abandoned places back in the day. I don't know why. They were just really cool. I guess just to kind of in hopes of finding spirits, not knowing that they're always around me, but so we went to this one place and it was just so dark there. Like the energy level was dark. You could just feel it. And we're sitting in the truck and we get out of the truck and then both of us look at each other and it was just like the energy level was telling you, no, don't get back in your truck and leave. So we just listened. Okay, we're going to get in the truck. We're going to leave. As we're backing out, the headlights blew out. And literally the engine cut off. Yeah, it was crazy. We pulled over. We got the truck started. The headlights wouldn't come on. And the crazy thing is we pulled over. There was a store right down the road. We pulled over by the store. The headlights weren't coming on. So how these headlights work is there's a fuse. You get the headlights. You got the wires that run from the headlights to a fuse. The fuse runs to the switch. Well, the switch fried out and the headlights fried out, but the fuse was the way the mechanic explained it was the fact he was explaining that the fuse should have went out. There was something not right about how this malfunctioned. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to tell him okay, yeah, we're backing out of a haunted house. The lights blew out. And then I go pull underneath this light. I look at my stomach and there's blood on my stomach. And I look down, there was 3 scratches on my stomach and they were bleeding through my shirt the same night.
Gosh.
And that was probably another time that was kind of I would say kind of like, okay, maybe I don't need to go here. I'm not scared, but I don't need to. I know I don't need to be effing with this. You know what I mean? Like there's some places like that where it's like you walk up to this like, you know what? I don't need to freaking be here right now. I'm gonna go away right now because this is not the right energy.
Right.
And like I said, they will let you know. The spirits will let you know if they don't want you there or not. That's for sure.
That is for sure. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Had a tickle in my throat there. All right, let's see here. Got that one. What is your favorite location and why?
Favorite location? I don't really have one. It's I don't know. I've never been to really any big locations, but if I were to have to pick one that I haven't been that I would just like a lot, I would love to go to Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Waverly Hills would be super fun.
Yes.
And one of my investigators, Sarah, she and West Houston Paranormal, they actually went there. Holy cow. I'm so jealous. One of these days, you know, when I save up a little bit of money, you know, I can afford to go to these places. But go back on to having a team. You know, I guess that's where the benefits from. You know, if everybody wants to go to something like that,
right,
you can split the cost.
Yes.
Whereas you investigating solo, you know, it's $1,000 out of your pocket. And some of these places, it's $1,000 or you know, or more to go to some of these locations. And it doesn't even guarantee you catching anything. And you know, I don't know if that's what holds me back because, hey, I'm getting tons of great evidence doing these residential cases. Like, you know, do I really need to go to these? Like, I would love to, but I don't really ever have the want to, you know. But if I were to go, absolutely, Waverly Hills would be my first choice, hands down. Waverly Hills.
That's a good one.
That place just looks like it. It just looks like I want to be there. Like I want to be walking through the front door of that place. That's just an amazing place.
That would be an awesome place. I'd love to get out of state to some different places. One of these days we will.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you another thing. Do you guys ever investigate with other paranormal teams?
Yes, we do.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's good stuff.
We did last weekend. We did with Raven Rose Paranormal.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we like to do that. Kim and I go around with other teams. In February, we actually went with Creeps. They're awesome, Adam and Alec. Went
cool.
with them to Malvern as well. And so, yeah, we like to do different things. And
June 1st, we're going with Apex, Iowa.
Yeah, June 6th, we're going to Apex, Iowa. That's Jill and Angie. That's going to be awesome. Be our first time with Jill. We've investigated with Angie a little bit, so that's going to be awesome.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
Yes, we like to go with other groups and see
how
they do it. And
absolutely, because you know you don't know how other teams. You know, you could learn benefits, but it could be beneficial for both teams. Exactly. Absolutely.
Yep. That's what we're here for.
Rabbit. Get over here.
We have one more question here. Shay wants to know, what's your favorite data collected?
My favorite data ever collected. I have this. I haven't posted it on YouTube because I just haven't done it yet. I don't know why. And it's probably the best evidence that I've ever captured. And it's of this Mary's location. It's of a little spirit whom I'm very connected to this day. I'm still connected to it's a little girl named Jenny. And I have a huge soft spot for this little girl, because when I did these investigations at this Mary's locations, like I said, I've investigated this house probably 250 plus times. Every time being different. You know, there were so many spirits it seemed at this location. There was an old angry cowboy at this location named Jim. There was a lady there named Aubrey who was married to a guy named Anthony. Ironically, a guy named Anthony at this location that I found the rock from. And there was little Jenny there, and then there was Mary, who we named the house. We called it the Mary's location. Mary was the actual last owner of the home who actually died in the home. She died of a stroke. I was connected mainly to Mary and to Jenny, and I'm telling you that it was unbelievable. Like I still go. I want to go back to this location just to kind of go back and check on them. Like it's very close. They're very close. You know what I'm saying? It's very close to my heart.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's me. Every time, Kim, I'm allergic to your house.
Bless you. Sorry, I was taking a drink of Amen fluid.
It's
no,
not
you're
till
fine.
the end of the show.
Yeah,
Make
so
it
it's
till
about
the end of
halfway
the show.
through the end of the show. I start sneezing and hacking. It's like, what the hell? At least the floor isn't shaking today. And
Oh, goodness.
oh yes, and then we have the most famous question here. You know, from
Okay.
good old Darren. What's the one thing in this world that you would not want to be haunted?
My kids.
That would
my
be
children.
so bad.
My children. I wouldn't want my
would
children
say-
to be haunted. I wouldn't want them to be haunted at all. Like I wouldn't want anything to be haunting them. But if he's maybe just talking about an inanimate object,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. I have a haunted rock at home, so it's just like
That's true.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of anything haunted. I kind of like to say I'm pretty well protected. But as far as like anything, I wouldn't want any spirits around. Probably any bad spirits. Probably my children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very protective of my boys.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, I wouldn't want mine to be. They're already crabby enough and moody enough.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need anybody else helping that situation.
Oh yeah, I got 18-year-old toddler
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
and a 16-year-old toddler, but I love them to death.
Oh my gosh, yeah, mine are 16 and 13, so yeah.
But yeah, that would have to say I wouldn't want my kids to be haunted. I'll take the hauntings. Save
Right.
them for me.
There you go. Oh, Shay had to remind us about the haunted butt plug.
Oh my god.
Were you in here for that one?
Oh my god, but I want to hear about it. Let's take it away, Shay. Take it away, Shay.
No, this was on our show. Like, we asked Michelle Belanger. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who she is, but she's been on, like, Portals to Hell. She was on, the one with Buell back in the day.
Paranormal State.
She's
Is that the one where they had, like, the captain's log? Like, where he's talking to a little recorder, or is that something else? I don't know. I don't watch TV shows. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I don't watch a ton of them either, but I do follow her. She's into everything. Like, she knows.
Oh, man.
She's a psychic.
She's a psychic. She's a medium.
She's a vampire.
Oh, wow.
She's a vampire. She does all this stuff. Like, she has, like, check her
Nice.
out on Twitter. She is
Okay.
awesome.
What's her
But,
name?
like,
What's her name?
Michelle Belanger.
Michelle.
It's like Belanger.
Belanger.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we asked her, and the first thing was, I don't even remember, because then she's like, well, she's like, another one would be a butt plug. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't think anybody would want a haunted butt plug.
Then she came back with the garbage disposal.
Oh, yeah, then she came back with the garbage disposal. That's what it was, yeah. But I was just
Oh
like,
my
'cause, you know,
God.
we were having this good conversation about
Oh
all
my-
these different things, and,
Oh, shoot.
and
Too
then
bad.
all of a sudden, butt plug. I'm like, what?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't think anybody would want that. That would be kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I think she said something about you could, like, wish it on your enemy. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Gosh.
Oh, goodness.
She does
I wouldn't
have
want
a
to
lot
wish
of
that
crazy
upon
people,
nobody,
too.
man. That'd be horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she...
Haunted butt plug. That's crazy. Oh my god. Oh, I've missed the
Top
good shit.
that
Always
one.
missed the good shit. Always missed the good shit. I missed the good shit last time y'all were talking about something else. Maybe that was the time you're talking about the haunted butt plug that I missed. Y'all were talking about
I mean,
something
we've-
good before. I don't remember,
You've missed some good ones. You need to go back
Ugh.
and listen to some of them.
I need to do that. I absolutely
You
need to
need
do
to go
that.
listen to the one with Ron. One of our earlier ones with Ron Haskett.
Oh man.
God, he's crazy. You got to listen to that one. It's pretty funny.
Mm.
But
Oh.
before we wrap up, though, I wanted to kind of talk about how you like to build some of your own equipment, and you've done like the SLS.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you have YouTube videos, right?
Yeah, I do. I have some YouTube. I like I said, my main goal in Beyond Paranormal is to help families, but I also like to help other teams. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably one of the biggest advocates for para-unity, probably one of the biggest advocates for para-unity. I love sharing other people's stuff. I love just supporting other people's stuff. I love helping other people. And I know that, you know, when I started, like I said, I told you before in the beginning that I started with a little tape cassette recorder. I started mm-hmm. with the mediocre items, yep. you know. Mm-hmm. So, you know, getting into, you know, Beyond Paranormal, and I started getting my own equipment, and the camera was the first thing that I wanted to get. I wanted to get some kind of Sony camera. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I noticed equipment's really expensive. It's absolutely expensive. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way to build these like really expensive light cam. And then when the SLS camera came out, it was just like, people are paying $600 to $700 for this. Right. That's absolutely crazy. I told myself I can build one for under $50, mm-hmm. and I built the very first one for $10. It was the very first SLS I built. I actually made a video on it, and it's not a portable one. It was a stationary. So basically, it was for the investigator that was going to a location that had power. Mm-hmm. So that way you could hook your laptop up, hook your Kinect sensor up, and like I said before, I'm a big advocate of doing my own research. Mm-hmm. I went through my own channels. I found the program. I did my research on which Kinect sensor worked the best, which is actually, you know, there's actually different. Most people don't know there's like different models of Xbox sensors. Mm-hmm. There's like model 1473s, there's 1471s, there's like 1608s, there's like a bunch of different ones. And, you know, it's just all about doing your research. And I made the first one with a laptop, cost me $10. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I ought to do a video for this for people that, you know, if they can't afford $700 to go spend on, you know, equipment and stuff, you know, just to come do this right here, you know. Right. And I made that video, and people they blew up. Holy cow, it started blowing up. And people asked me, hey, can you do a portable one? Do you know how to do a portable one? So I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me do my research again. I did my research. I found out how much power it takes to run. And, you know, I had some hit and misses, some trial and errors. Uh-huh. You know, with the Kinect camera, I found out that you know, the Kinect camera runs on something more than 12 volts, more than 7, but less than 12 volts. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you do your math of one AA battery is 1.5 volts. You put 8 batteries together, that's 12 volts. You know, you put that in a battery pack, that's your battery pack. That supplies your camera. Then you just do the same thing with a computer program on a little tablet. Now my portable one, I just released the portable one a couple months ago, and that one's taken off. And, you know, it's so easy. I think it cost me $53 to build a portable SLS camera. And wow. Now I'm like, okay, that's driven me even more, because I haven't made the video yet, but I have an EMF pump that's a DIY EMF pump. That would be great for, you know, if people want to experiment with. Even if, you know, if it doesn't, people don't think that it's going to, you know, maybe you can put it to some use in an experiment. Mm-hmm. I am currently, right now, I am working on a full spectrum conversion for HD cameras. I'm working on a GoPro conversion to full spectrum. So basically, you go get a GoPro, and I'm going to have a video to where it's going to help you convert that to a full spectrum camera. So you go, awesome. I mean, depending on where you get your cameras, I bought my GoPros on Facebook Marketplace, $50-$60 a piece. Like, nice. I don't spend a lot of money on my stuff. Like, I do a lot of research in my stuff, and I spend it wisely. And this stuff's too expensive. Like, look up an IR camera, just an IR camera. You're looking at $200. Mm-hmm. You go pick up a full spectrum camera, you're looking at $400. Yep. It's ridiculous that these prices that people are making like that, and I hate that. I don't want to say I hate that, because hate's a strong word. Right. I dislike the fact that people do that. And especially people claiming to be paranormal experts, helping paranormal. No, you're not helping nobody. You're trying to make a dime off of it. And with me, I don't like to do that. I don't do that to make a dime. I'm trying to help the paranormal investigator. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to continuously do DIY videos until I can't think of anything else to make. So my goal is to, I'm fixing, like I said, I'm in the process of working on a full spectrum conversion. I got the EMF pump that I got to make the video for. And then I'm going to do even simple stuff, dowsing rods. Do your homemade dowsing rods at home. A lot of people use dowsing rods. My own investigator, Sarah Ferguson, lives on the dowsing rod. She has some amazing dowsing work. Dowsing works wonders in investigations, especially residential cases. So, I have so many projects in the works right now as far as DIY, because like I said, my main goal is helping families and helping other teams. Para-unity is what it's all about.
Our dowsing rods are made out of coat hangers.
Yeah, there you go. Coat hangers, and all you need is paint bucket lids. Boom. And that way it's not your hands spinning them. They're free motioning right there in your hand, Put you a couple little paint bucket holders on the ends of them and fold the bottoms of the bottoms of the coat hangers on the bottoms. And there you go.
Yep.
And it's moving on its own.
Yep.
It's another simple one. A mason jar with flour. A lot of people don't. This is old. A lot of people don't know this.
Yeah.
So if you're a new investigator, you might want to try this too. You get a little mason jar of flour. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. This. Put it around the jar. See if you can get it to move in the flour. It's stuff like that. Simple stuff like this. That I feel I once I have the time, because like I said, my main job takes up all my time. I live for my job, but it is what it is. I gotta work. I got a life. I gotta do that. But in the upcoming months, do look forward to seeing more DIY videos. The next one for sure, because I think it'll be most beneficial, I'm going to do the full spectrum conversion, because I think people would really like to see that. I think people would really like to have that full spectrum camera that they really can't afford to go spend $400 for. I know, because I went and spent $400 on one. I know because I've been there and I've done that, and I've done my research, and it's crazy to think. You guys are going to think you're going to be like, what the hell have we not been doing this already?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so easy. It's so easy how they do this stuff. And I'm going to expose it to, hey, you know what? Who knows, down the road, I might make a spirit box and teach people how to make an SD box. Who knows?
That would be awesome.
Who knows what the future holds? Absolutely. And like I said, it's going to be available to everybody. If I can put it on my YouTube channel, it's going to be available for anybody.
Sweet. I like to watch all the things. Yeah, I want to make my own stuff, but it's like, I am not good with stuff. Like, I am not good with technology. I am not... I get too frustrated and pissed off at stuff. I just start throwing things. So
get you a tech guy. Get you a good tech guy. Oh, that's
but here I am running the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you run a podcast. This is amazing. Like, you should be able to do this. I'm telling you, it's so easy to do this stuff. Like, it's absolutely. I mean, my videos may be like, they're not the greatest, but I mean, I try to make it as simple as possible. But man, I'm telling you, it's so easy. It's absolutely so easy.
Excuse me. All right, so let's see here. Making sure I got all the questions here. I think I did. Where can people find you? Your YouTube video is Beyond Paranormal, correct?
Yep, YouTube channel is Beyond Paranormal. I am on Facebook at The Beyond Paranormal. I am on Instagram at The Beyond Paranormal. On Twitter at Beyond_Paranorm. So you can find me on basically anything. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I'm big time on Twitter a lot. I'm on Instagram quite a bit. And I like to post mainly a lot of the updates that I do. I'll post to Facebook and Twitter. But you can catch me on Instagram a lot. Big time.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm going to give shout-outs here real quick to everybody who's in chat. We had myself, we had Kim, we had Matt, we had Shane, we had Eye of Beholder. So thank you, everybody who was in chat tonight. Thank you for everybody who was not in chat but listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'd like to give a special thanks to our guest tonight, Nick from Beyond Paranormal. Thank you so much for being on. It was awesome.
That's my audience clapping.
Even though you had a fire in your place, you still made it to the show. I was like,
I did. Dedication at its finest.
That's right. Dedication right there.
Dedication right there. Paranormal passion, guys. Hashtag
right.
Paranormal passion.
So, like I said, next week it's Kim and I, because let's just get real. I need a break from all of it. So, we just want to have a fun show. So we're just going to throw whatever out there, whatever kind of question. Doesn't even have to be paranormal. I really don't care. Let's just have a good time next week. Have fun. We all need it.
Woohoo!
Maybe, since hopefully my boss decides not to see patients next Friday, so that way I can have a couple more drinks than normal.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Let's see. We all need another night of that when I have.
Yes,
a couple
we do,
drinks
man.
for the
Absolutely.
show, because those get a little too fun.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and we will talk to you all next week.
Peace.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening to REP Paranormal and Friends. Be sure to check out Kim and Allison on Facebook at REP Paranormal Busters.